Real English with June. Real English for real life.
Hey everyone, welcome to Real English with June, where you learn real English for real life.
Hey guys, it's Leo here. We're really happy you're spending time with us today.
With today's episode, you can relax, listen, and really feel the language.
Yeah, maybe grab a coffee or tea, or just sit comfortably and enjoy.
Okay, today's topic starts with a question for my dear partner. Leo, have you ever had a moment when someone asked you, "Tell me about yourself," and your brain just stopped?
Oh, many times. Too many times.
What happened?
Okay, imagine this. I was at a networking event, meeting new people. Everything was going fine. Small talk, smiles, normal conversation. Then one guy looked at me and said, "So, tell me about yourself."
And then?
And then my brain became completely empty. I forgot my job, my hobbies, even my personality.
That's very serious.
I think I said something like, I work and I like sports. And that was it.
You know, Leo, this actually reminds me of something from when I was a student.
Oh, really? What happened?
I remember one day in class, the teacher asked everyone to stand up and introduce themselves in English. It sounded simple, right?
Yeah, sounds easy.
That's what I thought too. But when it was my turn, I stood there, and suddenly I didn't know what to say. I knew words, I knew grammar, but my mind was just empty.
That feeling again.
I think I said something like, "Hi, my name is June. I'm a student." And then I stopped.
That's it? End of story?
That was it. And I remember thinking, I know more English than this, so why can't I say it?
Honestly, I think this happens to almost everyone.
Yes, and there are a few simple reasons. First, your brain has too many ideas. When someone says, "Tell me about yourself," you suddenly think about your job, your hobbies, your family, your past, your future,
Yeah, everything comes at the same time.
and your brain doesn't know where to start. Second, you don't have a structure, so instead of speaking smoothly, you jump from one idea to another.
And third, you're a little nervous.
Exactly. When you feel nervous, your brain works slower. Even simple sentences become difficult.
So if you feel this way, it's completely normal.
You're not bad at English. You just need a better way to organize your ideas. And that's why this skill is so important. This is actually very common. Many English learners say, "I understand English, but I don't know how to talk about myself."
And the problem is, this question is everywhere.
At work, at school, when traveling, when meeting new people.
Even online, like when you join a class or a community.
So here's the most important idea. You don't need perfect English. You need a simple structure and sentences you can remember.
Think of it like a small script, a short movie about your life.
All right, let's start with the easiest part, but also the most important one. Your first words.
Yeah, the moment where people decide, do I like this person or not?
No pressure, right? Keep it simple. You can say, "Hi, I'm June," or "Hello, my name is June." That's already perfect.
If you want to sound a bit more friendly, you can say, "Hey, I'm Leo, nice to meet you." It feels warm, natural, like you're opening the door to a conversation.
Now, if you're in a more formal situation, like a job interview or meeting someone important, you can say, "Good morning, my name is," or "It's a pleasure to meet you." Very polite, very safe.
But if you're just talking to someone your age in a cafe or at a casual event, you can relax a bit. Say, "Hey, I'm," or even, "What's up, I'm."
But remember, choose something that feels natural for you.
Yeah, don't suddenly say, "Yo, what's up, bro," if that's not really you.
Simple, natural, comfortable. That's the goal. All right, now let's move to the next part, where you're from. This is where people start to see your story.
Yeah, it's like giving them a small map of your life.
Let's start easy. You can say, I'm from the US. Simple, clear, perfect.
If you want to add a little more detail, you can include your city. For example, I'm from New York, the United States. Now it feels more real, more personal.
But life is not always that simple. Sometimes your story has more than one place. So you can say something like, I was born in Korea, but I grew up in Canada. Now that already sounds like a story.
Or maybe you moved later in life. You can say, I'm originally from India, but now I live in Australia. That shows change, movement, experience.
You can also talk about time. For example, I've been living in Tokyo for 3 years. That tells people how long you've been there.
Or you can keep it simple. I moved here in 2020. Short, but very clear.
Now, think about your own answer. Where are you from? Is it just one place, or do you have a story? Take a pause.
Try to say it out loud. Even one sentence is enough.
Remember, you don't need a long explanation, just 1 or 2 simple sentences that feel true to you. All right, now let's talk about something people ask all the time. What do you do?
Yeah, this question follows you everywhere. New people, new conversations, same question.
But don't worry, your answer can be very simple. You can say, I'm an English teacher. I work as a doctor. I'm a designer. Short, clear, easy to understand.
Or you can say, I work in IT. I'm a software developer. I work for a tech company. You don't always need to give too many details.
If you want to sound more natural, you can add just one small detail. For example, I'm an English teacher, and I work with adult students.
Or, I work in IT, mainly building websites. That little extra detail makes your answer more interesting.
Now, if you're a student, you can say, I'm a student. I study business. I study medicine.
Or, a bit more natural, I'm currently studying marketing. I'm studying at university. Some people also say, I'm still studying and working part-time.
Or, I'm not working right now. I'm focusing on my studies. You can also add how you feel about it. For example, I really enjoy my job. I love what I do.
Or, I'm still learning a lot. It's challenging, but interesting. Now, think about your own answer. Do you work, or are you a student? Try to say one sentence. Then, add one more detail.
Remember, you don't need a long explanation, just 1 or 2 clear sentences and a small personal touch. Okay, let's move into something a bit more personal. Your home, your space, your people. Because when you talk about this, people don't just hear information, they start to feel your life. Let's start simple. You can say, I live in an apartment. I live in a house. But if you want to sound more natural, you can paint a small picture.
Yeah, instead of just saying the type, you can add a little detail. Like, I live in a small apartment near the city center. Or, I live in a house in a quiet neighborhood. Now, people can see it in their mind.
Next, who do you live with? You can say, I live with my parents. I live with my husband. I live with my roommate.
Or, if you're like many people in big cities, I live with 2 roommates, and we share the kitchen. Here's where it gets interesting. You can add feeling to your sentence. For example, I live in a small apartment in the city center. It's convenient, but a bit noisy. Or, it's quiet, but a bit expensive.
Yes, life is always a mix, right? You can also say, I live in a house near the countryside, so it's very peaceful, and I really love the fresh air. Now it's not just information, it's a story. Now let's talk about family. You can keep it very simple. I have one brother and one sister. I have two older brothers. I have a younger sister.
Or you can make it a bit more personal. I come from a small family. We're a big family, so it's always noisy. I'm very close to my family. My family lives in another city.
This part is beautiful because you can show emotion. For example, I live with my parents and we have dinner together every night. Or, I live alone, but I talk to my family every day.
And hey, don't forget pets. People love talking about pets. I have a dog. I have a cat. Or more fun, I have a golden retriever and he's very energetic.
Or, I have a cat, but honestly, she owns the house. Now, let me give you a natural example. I live in a small apartment in New York with my roommate. It's a bit noisy, but I like the energy of the city. I also have one younger brother, and we're very close.
And here's mine. I live in an apartment in Chicago with my dog. It's not very big, but it's comfortable. I come from a big family, so I visit them whenever I can.
Sometimes you can make mistakes, but do not worry. Small mistakes are normal. What matters is people understand you. So when you talk about your home, don't try to be perfect. Just be real.
Yeah, give people a small window into your life.
Now it's time to talk about something deeper. Not just what you do, but who you are. Because sometimes people don't remember your job, but they remember your personality.
Yeah, like, are you quiet? Are you talkative? Are you the person who starts conversations or the one who listens first?
You can keep it very simple. I'm friendly. I'm shy. I'm talkative. I'm calm. I'm a curious person.
But real life is not just one word, right? So you can say, I'm a bit shy at first, but I become more talkative later. Or, I'm usually calm, but I get excited when I talk about things I love.
This is a great trick. If it's hard to describe yourself, use other people's words. People say I'm very patient. My friends say I'm funny. My coworkers say I'm easy to work with. I'm a friendly and curious person, and I love learning new things.
I'm quite active, and I enjoy being around people.
There's no perfect personality. Just be honest.
Okay, now the fun part. Hobbies. This is where your personality really comes alive.
You can start with, in my free time, I like, I enjoy, I love. Examples, I like reading, I enjoy cooking, I love traveling.
Or you can make it more casual. I'm really into sports. I'm a big fan of football. I'm really into photography.
For me, I love traveling, especially to places with nature. I enjoy exploring new cultures and trying local food. It helps me feel alive.
And for me, I'm really into sports. I play basketball, I go to the gym, and I watch football on weekends. Sometimes too much football.
Try to add one small detail, not just, I like music, but I like music, especially acoustic and chill songs.
You can also add contrast. I love coffee, but I don't like waking up early.
I love traveling, but I don't like long flights. In my free time, I like reading, going for walks, and trying new cafes. Now, let's talk about your daily life. Not every detail, just the rhythm.
You can start with, on weekdays, I usually, in the morning, in the evening,
On weekdays, I usually wake up at 7, have coffee, and start work.
In the evening, I go to the gym or relax and watch sports.
You can even say, I study English for 20 minutes every day. That's powerful.
Or something very real. Sometimes I'm very productive, but sometimes I just want to rest.
On weekdays, I usually work in the morning, and in the evening, I relax or read a book. And finally, let's talk about your future. Not a perfect plan, just a direction.
You can say, in the future, I'd like to, my goal is to, one of my dreams is to.
In the future, I'd like to travel more and experience different cultures.
My goal is to grow in my career and stay healthy.
One of my dreams is to live in another country, even just for a year.
I'd like to build something meaningful, maybe my own project or business.
You can also say, I want to speak English confidently, so I can connect with more people. On weekdays, I usually work in the morning, and in the evening, I relax or read a book.
My goal is to improve my skills and enjoy a balanced life.
So now you have all the pieces: your personality, your hobbies, your daily life, your dreams.
You don't need to say everything, just choose a few parts. Make it simple, make it real.
And remember, you're not just learning English, you're learning how to share your story. And the following is my story, full version. Hi, I'm June. It's really nice to meet you. I'm from the United States, but I've always been curious about the world outside my country. I work as an English teacher, and I truly enjoy what I do. I love helping people, not just learn English, but feel more confident when they speak, because I know how scary it can feel at the beginning. I live in a small apartment right now. It's not very big, but it's cozy, and it's my favorite place to relax after a long day. I really enjoy having a quiet space, especially when I need to read or just think. I don't have any pets at the moment, but honestly, I love dogs. And I always tell myself, one day I'm going to have a dog, maybe a golden retriever, something friendly and full of energy. In my free time, I absolutely love traveling. For me, traveling is not just about going somewhere new. It's about meeting people, trying different food, and seeing how other people live. Every place teaches me something. I also enjoy simple things, like reading a good book or sitting in a quiet cafe with a cup of coffee. Those small moments help me slow down and feel more present. On weekdays, I usually work in the morning. I teach classes, talk with students, and sometimes create new lessons or content. In the afternoon, I might take a short break or go for a walk. And in the evening, I like to relax, read, or plan what I'm going to teach next. If I describe myself, I'd say I'm calm and friendly, but I'm also very curious. I always want to learn something new, whether it's a language, a culture, or just a new idea. In the future, I really want to travel more, maybe live in different countries, even if it's just for a short time. I want to experience life in different ways. And of course, I want to continue teaching and helping more people feel confident speaking English. Because I believe everyone has a story to share.
Hey, I'm Leo. Nice to meet you. I'm from the United States, and I've lived there most of my life, but I've always been interested in how people live in different parts of the world. I work in IT as a software developer, so most of my day I spend time on my computer, writing code, solving problems, and sometimes fixing bugs that I created myself. I actually enjoy my job because I like building things and seeing how small ideas can turn into something useful. And in IT, you're always learning. There's always something new.
Right now, I live in an apartment in the city. It's not too big, but it's comfortable and close to my workplace. I live alone, and to be honest, I really enjoy having my own space. But sometimes it gets a little too quiet, so I just turn on music or a football game, and suddenly it feels alive again. My family lives in another city, and I try to visit them whenever I can. We're pretty close, even though we don't see each other every day. In my free time, I'm really into sports. I go to the gym, I play basketball with friends, and I watch football on weekends.
Honestly, sometimes I plan my weekend around football matches. For me, sports are not just about fitness. They help me relax, clear my mind, and stay balanced. I also enjoy simple things like hanging out with friends, getting coffee, or just walking around the city. Nothing too fancy, just real life.
On weekdays, I usually wake up around 7, have a quick breakfast, and start work. During the day, I focus on my projects, and sometimes I spend hours solving one small problem. That's IT life. In the evening, I usually go to the gym or just stay at home, watch something, and relax. If I describe myself, I'd say I'm quite active and easygoing. I like being around people, but I also enjoy my alone time. I think I'm also pretty patient. Working in IT teaches you that, because sometimes things don't work for hours. In the future, I want to keep improving my skills, not just in my career, but in life. I'd like to stay healthy, travel more, and maybe experience living in another country. And who knows, maybe one day I'll build something of my own, a project, a business, something meaningful. But for now, I'm just focusing on growing, step by step, and enjoying the journey.
Great! We have done our parts. Now it's your turn. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now.
Yeah, don't just listen, use it.
Let's start simple. Simple is powerful.
Then, slowly, you can add more.
You can even pause this episode now and say your introduction out loud.
Yeah, don't worry if it feels awkward. That's part of the process. Even we started like that.
Your first version doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours.
And here's a small trick. Repeat your introduction a few times, maybe while you're walking or doing something simple.
The more you repeat it, the more natural it becomes. And one day, you won't need to think anymore.
It will just come out.
We'd really love to hear from you. Write a comment, even just one sentence.
If you enjoyed this episode, and if it helped you feel a little more confident, please like and subscribe to the channel.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
You didn't waste your time today. You invested it in your English.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. See you next time.
Real English with June.